Today we're going to do something a little bit different than my normal videos with the real airplanes. And I thought I'd show you the two new radio-controlled helicopters that I got. I've been looking to get back into this hobby for a long time, and I finally kind of made the plunge and did it because I really like these scale helicopters. I've been into radio control ever since I was a kid, but after high school, went away to the Air Force, then finished up college, then I was flight instructing, then I was working at the airlines, just kind of got out of it for a long time, and I thought I would get back into it because these helicopters kind of enticed me to get back at it. In fact, when I was a kid, I have a newspaper article here from 1989, and that is my picture there in the paper. I used to work at a hobby store called High Tech Hobbies when I was in high school, and my job was to sell helicopters and then teach people how to fly them. So I had a lot of fun in this hobby, but like I said, I haven't done it in quite a while. I have two new helicopters here. They're from a company called Roban, and these are what they call GPS stabilized helicopters, which means anyone can fly them. You don't have to know how to fly a helicopter to fly these. If you can fly a drone, which virtually everybody can because they fly themselves, you can fly one of these helicopters. Now apparently there is a mode on the controller that lets you fly it like a real radio-controlled helicopter. I think what it does, it turns off all the stabilization and the GPS and lets you fly it like a normal radio-controlled helicopter. But today I have two of them here, and they come absolutely complete. They come with the controllers, the battery, the charger, basically everything you need to fly it. And in fact, since I have two of them, what I've done is I've kind of relabeled or labeled the back of the controllers because I don't want to confuse them. So this one is for the Huey and that one there is for the Bell JetRanger. But today, we're just going to talk about the Huey on this video. This is how the helicopter comes out of the box. The only thing you have to do is bolt on the rotor blades, which I've already done. It does come with some instruction manuals there. It comes with the controller that's used to fly it. It has a battery charger, and this plugs into the charger. And it also comes with some missiles and machine guns that you can mount on the side. However, I am going to make this one the dust-off version, which is the medical evacuation helicopter. Now it does come with some decals. You can see here, these decals, I'm guessing by the looks of them, are about 200 years old because they're absolutely terrible. I don't know what all the pink is on there. These are water slide decals. And what I don't like about these, other than the fact that I think they're too old and they're ruined, but I've seen some other videos online, and when people do install these decals on the model, that there's a glossy finish over the whole thing here. Like even like this, it's all glossy. Everything's glossy, even over all the words. And what that does is, to me, it looks kind of weird because when you're flying it in the sun, like if you have Army back here, you see a big, shiny square or rectangle where the word is. So I am not going to use any of these decals, and as I'll show you in just a moment, I have made my own decals for this. Oh, and before we get into the decals, this does come with one antenna on the top, and one of my plans for this and the other helicopters, I want to add a bunch of other antennas to it, and maybe even the wire cutters on the top and bottom, just because I think helicopters look cool with all that kind of stuff on it. I don't know if you can buy the things like the antennas or the wire cutters, but if you can't, they're fairly easy to manufacture yourself. All right, these are all of the decals that I made on the computer. And what I do is I just use Corel Draw and I design the files, and then I cut them out on my plotter. And then just like any kind of vinyl graphics, you peel them and then just kind of build them. So these are all the stickers I have to put on here, which if you remember back from the days of building plastic models, putting the decals on is obviously the most fun part. Now the very first one I'm going to put on is the sticker on the very front. And it goes on, just from looking at other pictures online, it goes right about there. Now I might have to heat this up a little bit just to get it to curve around the front here, but I'll see if I can get this stuck on a little bit better, and I'll show you what it looks like. There we go. A little bit of heat sort of melts it into place. There's one little line right here you can see, but it's actually not a wrinkle in the decal. It's where there's two kind of layers of plastic there. So there's kind of a seam in the plastic, but first one on, it looks great. Now the next one I want to do is on the door right there. So we'll peel one of these off. And I'm gonna stick it right here, centered between the windows. And one of the other things with this helicopter too is it does come with the plastic windows, but they have to be glued in. All right, we'll mold that panel line in there with my fingernail. And then what I'll do is this, you can probably see this line right here. That's where the whole front half comes off to put the battery in there and work on the mechanics. So what I'll do now that that's on there is I'll just get a razor blade and slice it. Right now I have a little X-Acto blade, but what I want to do is because I want to get a real nice cut with that, I'm going to put a new blade in there. All right, now we'll just slice right along there and hopefully you get a nice cut. Yeah, I don't know if that followed the line or not. It was hard to tell. Yep, I think it did. So there we go. Now there's a couple rivets that are molded into the fiberglass too, so you got to kind of push it around the rivets, but that looks good. I like it. Turn it around, do the other side. All right, all of these are now installed. Now the next one I'm going to do is an Army 10135 that goes on the tail, and you can see the original sticker here, how bad it is. So what I do is I just made the exact same size, made a copy of it, and we'll stick that on there. Well guys, I just dropped my phone and broke the microphone that goes in there. So now we're just going to use the microphone that's on the camera. But here is the numbers on the tail. And the way that works with vinyl graphics is there's kind of three layers. There's the back layer, and then the actual sticker, and then this top layer. And what you do is you stick it on, and then you peel off the top layer, and you got to make sure these are really stuck on there. There we go. Just kind of press it on again with my thumb, make sure it's on there, and looking better. Well, this is the almost finished helicopter. There are a couple things I have to do yet, like glue in the side windows, but I'm holding off on that because I'm not sure what kind of glue to use for that. The other thing I want to do is fabricate some antennas for it. And one of the other things I just did was I've painted the top of this black. And a lot of the Hueys have a black anti-skid tape area on the top of the helicopter. And that is because the maintenance guys and the pilots get up here to inspect the rotor head, and they kind of walk around up there. So I wanted to do it on here because it looks good, and it just kind of breaks up all the green that's on here. So you can see it does come with the lights already installed. They look nice. The next step is to do the maiden flight on this, which will be a different video. Well, if you are a subscriber to this channel, this is a little bit different video than I normally make. But like I said, this is a hobby I wanted to get back into, and it's a hobby that I'm sure a lot of you guys do too, or at least you got started with the radio-controlled aircraft. So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again on the next video.